Hi, this is Mike from the very spooky substream.com, and this is a special spooky extra bloody edition of the Film Lab called the Special Super Bloody Spooky Fake Blood Edition of the Film Lab. Today we're going to be talking about fake blood on screen, or blood on screen in general. Fake blood is one of those imperfect, controversial arts because we can't quite get it right. There's something about the nature of human meat juice that's just impossible to reproduce accurately on screen. Especially since movies are now shot in color, which means we can't use Hershey syrup to be the blood in movies like Psycho, like Hitchcock did. We've even got guys that are using digital CGI to create digital CGI blood sprays in movies like Machete by Robert Rodriguez, which unfortunately look terrible, even worse than this stuff, which is the best that we've been able to do. And this is stage blood, fake blood that you can buy from a makeup company called Ben Nye, which is one of several makeup companies that make this stuff. You can get special extra runny blood if you need it to run down somebody's arm. You can get normal blood, extra thick blood, blood with chunks to go in scabs, all kinds of really gross stuff. The only problem with this stuff, even though it looks pretty good, is that it's expensive. This bottle, which is an ounce, cost us $6, which, you know, is a pain in the... I mean, it looks good, but $6 is $6, and that adds up, especially if you need like a bucket of this stuff. So let's go to the kitchen and see if we can figure out a cheaper homemade substitute. Hey, so we're here in the official test kitchen of the Film Lab. Now, it's basically impossible to make something at home in your kitchen on the cheap that looks as good as the expensive professional makeup artist fake blood. And I mean, that makes sense. They're a big company that's been around for years with access to a bunch of chemicals and stuff that you would get arrested and put on the terrorist watch list if you tried to buy. But it is possible to make something that's almost as good for way cheaper. And we're talking about the basic, classic, traditional kitchen sink recipe for homemade, edible fake blood, which is basically 3 ingredients: corn syrup, food coloring, and warm water. So here's the basic recipe. It's about a 3-to-1 ratio. So take a cup of your basic corn syrup stuff, lovely, and just slarn it together with 1/3 of a cup of warm water. And just slarn that together with a whisk. Mix it all up. The water will make the consistency of the syrup less sticky so that it might actually float. So once that's all mixed together, you take your red food coloring and start slurping it in. It's gonna take quite a bit to get it deep enough red. So you want that really deep ruby red. Now, a secret tip is it's gonna be basically impossible to get the fake blood to look dark enough, real blood red with just red food coloring. It'll just get more intensely red without getting any darker. So you have to either take some blue or green food coloring and add some of that as well. Because blood's not really red. It's kind of bluey red, browny, rust, dark bluey, greeny red, brown color, blood color, red, which is a fact of biology that I didn't know. I don't know if you actually know or not, but now you do. So now we're looking at something that's closer to the color of blood. It, however, is completely almost clear. So we're going to do a secret trick. The secret ingredient to make it more opaque is cocoa powder. Cocoa powder. I'm just guessing on the amount, but that looks good. 1/4 teaspoon. You put it in there and you mix it up. And then you end up with something that's about the color of blood, about the consistency of blood, that costs about 30 cents to make, and it's edible. And it's opaque, like real blood, too. Putting in the chocolate syrup helps with the consistency and the thickness and the opacity. It unfortunately doesn't help with the taste, which is literally so sweet that if you have to have it in your mouth for any length of time, it will actually kill you. So there you go. Nothing beats the look of the professional stuff, but if you need buckets and buckets of fake blood on the cheap,
the cornstarch stuff's not that bad, especially with some tinkering with the amount of cocoa powder and green and blue food coloring that you put in. Thank you for watching the Film Lab and have a very spooky Halloween.